The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para-X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
The Paranormal View. The Paranormal View. The Paranormal View. Time now for the Paranormal View. The Paranormal View on the Para-X Radio Network. The Paranormal View.
Welcome, everybody, to the Paranormal View right here on the Para-X Radio Network. I want to thank everybody tonight for listening, no matter where you're listening from, whether it's here at the site or from around the world. We appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're not somewhere other than, if you are somewhere other than here, please come on over to para-x.com and join in the chat, and you'll have a wonderful time. Tonight we got a great show, and I have been sick all week, about to lose my voice, so I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking tonight. And Barbara said she's got about 15 pages of questions. So we have Barbara Duncan with us tonight.
Hello, hello.
And we will have Jeffrey Gould with us in just a little bit. He had been somewhere, and he's on the bus getting back, and he'll let me know as soon as he gets back, and we'll get him right into the chat. So since he's not here, and we have such a great guest tonight, we're going to go ahead and let Barbara introduce him and get started on our show.
We have Mr. Mark Phillips with us, who is the executive producer of My Ghost Story on A&E Bio Channel. It's the highest-rated series on that network, and he also produces the Bio Specials Holiday Hauntings. He's produced The Protectors for A&E and has served as executive producer of Inside Predator Task Force for Court TV, which is True TV now, and the executive producer of SWAT USA California, also for Court True. He's developed and produced several shows for television networks, and his bio is about as long as my arm and quite impressive. I just have to tell you folks that the My Ghost Story is probably one of the most fascinating shows on what I call the Haunted Channel at the moment. Welcome, Mark Phillips.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Welcome.
I love your intro. It's just scary as hell. I ran and locked my front door.
We had one of the guys that was one of our co-hosts who had to step away for a while. He had a friend in Pennsylvania that did those for us. And,
well, he did a great job.
Yeah, he did. Really, really great. And I thank them for that, too. I want to thank you for taking time, because I know you've been really, really busy. You've been hitting a lot of the other networks and shows. But I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
You're very welcome. It's because My Ghost Story doesn't have a host per se. I've sort of thrown myself into the fray to get the word out, and I really appreciate you putting me on your show. It's much appreciated. My Ghost Story runs Saturday nights on A&E Bio. It runs at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. And the last few weeks, and I think for the next couple of weeks, there are actually 2 new episodes every week. And at some point, I think 3 weeks from now, new episodes of Celebrity Ghost Stories are being delivered. So we'll be sharing tonight with them. They're kind of our companion piece. But My Ghost Story is the highest rated show on A&E Bio, and last week, last Saturday, it delivered the highest ratings in the Saturday night time slot in the network's history. And when the network exec called to tell me that, the thing that ran through my head was like, I don't know. Go figure. I mean, I love the show. I love producing it. I love meeting the people who come on the show. And if I can just describe it for your audience, it's a show that features real people, real, honest-to-goodness, everyday people who have had these paranormal experiences, and they have had either by themselves or through others, they've had these experiences documented on camera or on tape. So every storyteller that comes to our show brings with them actual evidence of their experience. And some of the experiences are extremely spooky. Some of them are demonic. Some of them are quite spiritual. There's a whole range of different kinds of stories that we have on the show. Some of them are even romantic. But it's fascinating material, and the audience obviously is gravitating to it just by virtue of the number of people who are watching it.
Well, it also, in watching a lot of the stories, the believability of your guests are quite amazing. Their presence and their
that's because they're just regular folk. You know, they're just
their
regular
stories
people.
are quite touching in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, that's
definitely
where
not
that's where the show began. It began with the whole idea of, in fact, this is how the network described it to me after I pitched it to them. They said, think of it as a bunch of regular people sitting around a campfire telling ghost stories and then showing you the evidence that their stories are true. Mm-hmm. And I took that whole notion and ran with it. If you watch the show, you'll see that it looks as though they're sitting in a chair that is surrounded by a dark, gloomy night. And off on the left-hand side and the right-hand side in lower screen, you'll see a orange pulsating glow, which is the campfire. And people who, the storytellers who come to the show, they sit in this chair. It's a very spooky chair. And they really get into it. But the reason the believability factor is there, Barbara, is because they're just real people. They're just ordinary people that, in a lot of cases, they're not ghost hunters. They're just regular people. I mean, we do have a lot of paranormal investigators on the show because oftentimes what happens is somebody has this experience in their home or workplace or wherever, and it freaks them out and they can't quite figure it out, and they reach out to an investigator, and the investigator comes and investigates and ends up capturing some incredible evidence. So there are stories where we have regular folk and investigators who come on the show.
Well,
Now, what was your background in the paranormal before this? Were you interested in it all? Do you believe in the paranormal, or did you believe in it before the series started?
Well, I've been interested in it for some time. I don't know if you guys know, there was a paranormal investigator, a very brilliant guy by the name of Peter James.
Yes.
He died about 6-7 years ago from cancer.
Yes.
And he took me on a one-on-one investigation of the Queen Mary. I live and work in Los Angeles, and I went down and met him in Long Beach, and he took me right into the bowels of that boat, and it flipped me out. It was really quite extraordinary. And he took me to the morgue, and he took me to the swimming pool and the dressing area, and we'd be hearing banging coming from where banging shouldn't be coming, as we're passing through these spots that were freezing cold, and the most bizarre smells would come to us. I mean, it was just it really kind of turned my head. But I could never. This was probably not probably. It was 1992, and I would talk to people about doing some kind of a paranormal show, and they looked at me like I was speaking Chinese. And the project that I wanted to do with Peter James was called The Ghosts of Rock and Roll. I went to go and try to reach the spirits of people who had died in the rock and roll industry.
Whoa.
But I could never convince anybody, to do it. And I developed a few things here and there. And what happened was I had this really incredible project that I did for Court TV, which is now True TV, called Inside Predator Task Force. And basically, we put together a team of Southland cops who went after child predators, and we caught 15 guys, and it was an amazing show that got a huge rating for Court TV. And somebody at A&E saw it and said, "Wow, let's reach out to this guy." So they reached out to me and told me that this is a great inside TV phrase. They said it's really good sticky television. So they said, "What would you like to do?" And I said, "Well, I'd like to do another one of these child predators things because I had all this extra footage." So they bought a show from me called The Protectors, and it didn't work. It didn't work at all. And at the same time, they asked me to produce a special for a paranormal show that I pitched them, and it was called Hauntings Revealed. And basically, it was just regular people telling their stories and showing the evidence that they had taken. I had some stories in mind. I knew about the evidence. I just pulled it from the internet. It was simple. I butt edited it all together and I sent it to them, and they circled around it for a while, and they passed and said, no. And then in August of 2008, they called me up and they said, "You know what? We do want to do that show, but we want to call it My Ghost Story." And when they said that, I went, "My goodness, these guys are brilliant." I mean, they just so know how to brand a show. Because if you think about it, and the fact that it's for bio and it's called My Ghost Story, I mean, it just makes such sense. But the problem was, it was in August, and they said, it was the end of August, and they said that they wanted to have the show air on Halloween, which left me very, very little time to do it properly. And they said, make it look like I survived, which is a Sunday night show. It's a very good show on bio, and basically it's set in black limbo. The storytellers sit in black limbo, and it's very static. And I, given the amount of time that I had, I just went with it. I aped. I survived. And as I was delivering it, I was saying to myself, I don't like this. This show does not have my signature on it. This does not this is not the way that I want to do this. But I had such limited time. I gave it to them. They aired it, and it did very well. But the head of the network looked at it and said, this show doesn't look good. This is not a good-looking show. What's Phillips doing here? I didn't have, I think, some of the best people working with me on that special. But one of the execs at A&E came back to me and said, how would you change it? And I listed how I would make it look, and I made it look like it looks right now. And they said, okay, we'll give you another special. So they gave me another special. I made it look great. I shouldn't just say I made it look great. There was some of the people working on it with me, like my co-executive producer, 𝘕𝘺 𝘕𝘺. We really knocked it out of the park, and it did a great number. And then they picked up a series, and we've been making shows ever since then.
I just wanted to let everybody know that we now have Jeffrey Gould with us. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm late.
That's all right. You're in L.A. Everybody's late in L.A.
Well, the thing is I'm an actor and I'm in the industry, and they were screening one of the student films I'd worked on down at USC, and it ran much later than it was led to believe that it would be.
Well, I'm glad you're here with us.
Yeah.
Now, Jeffrey also has a lot of ghost stories too.
Yeah, but none are on video.
None are on video, and that was one of the things that one of the questions I had. What is the criteria that you look for from those that want to be on your show?
good visual evidence. And auditory evidence as well. I mean,
Right.
We use pictures, we use video, we use EVPs, we use actual tactile evidence. I mean, sometimes it's pictures of scratchings and all that kind of stuff. So it runs the gamut, but there has to be evidence, or else it doesn't fit our. I hate to use the word formula, but that's what it is.
Right. Well, that would be right, though. Well, now, when you choose somebody, do you go to where they live to do the filming of it?
No.
Okay.
Let me tell you the process.
Okay.
People submit stories to us, and we then ask them to film themselves telling their story, and we give them a template of questions which they answer on tape, or we do that over Skype, and they submit their evidence to us, and if we believe that they can be decent storytellers, because generally they're just ordinary folks, so a lot of people clam up on camera, but we work our way through that. So once we found good storytellers with good evidence, and there's always two storytellers a story, we then fly them to Los Angeles. We put them up in a hotel. We take them to a studio, and we sit them down in that set that I spoke about earlier, on that ghostly chair that I talked about earlier. and they the interview that we conduct with them is about an hour, and we get them to tell the story. Then we send a field producer to their location, and they shoot what we call point of view B-roll.
Right.
It's not reenactment. It's just we then tell their story cinematically at the location, and then we cut it all together. And I say that in one sentence, and cutting it all together is a monstrous job.
Oh yeah.
And it ends up being a story. We have 5 or 6 stories per episode. That's kind of how it works.
Sorry.
And I can tell you right now, if indeed any of your audience wish to submit a story, they simply need to send an email to myghoststory@mPPT.tv. Again, it's myghoststory@M as in Mark, P as in Phillips, P as in production, T as in television.tv.
And that stands for Mark Phillips Films Television?
Yeah, Films and Television, yeah. Because films is spelled with a PH.
I noticed that. And television is spelled...
And television is spelled with a PH as well, I know. It's kind of, it's I don't know. It gets me attention.
Well, now, the reason Jeff was asking that is Jeff types up a whole synopsis of our show, and he puts all the links and everything also in the synopsis. So
oh, I see. Okay.
He'll tell you where you can go see all that stuff at also.
And your audience should also know they can always go and visit the bio website.
Yes.
There's actually a link there to submit stories to us as well.
Good.
But they can also watch episodes of the show, and there's some behind the scenes stories that we've done.
Now, is that I was looking at some of those. Were those like with some of your crew?
Yeah.
Where they've had things happen?
Exactly, yeah. I think there's one there with me, too.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did you have happen?
We had this story of a woman whose son was born in 1977, and he died when he was about 10 years old. And ever since then, this woman, at very distinct moments in her life that are somehow connected to her son, finds money, and the money is always from 1977.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very interesting story. And I'm sitting in the control room watching her talk, and I really identified with the story because I find money all the time. It's just something that has always happened. In fact, I found a penny today. I was walking down the street with my daughter to get her a pair of jeans, and boom, there's a penny. And my father, who passed away when I was quite young, he always taught me that because he was very superstitious, and he taught me that when you find money, you put it in your left pocket. Actually, he said what you do is you spit on it, and then you put it in your left pocket. I guess it's an old English tradition. I don't spit on it. I just put it in my left pocket. And then, and when money, when I have like more than 10 or 11 coins in my pocket, I then put it into a box. I have a box here filled with money. And anyhow, so I'm watching this story, and I'm just fascinated by it. And it's coming to an end, and we're doing what we call the jib shots at the end, where there's no questions asked. And I walked out to my car to get something. And as I'm walking back into the studio, I find a penny. And lo and behold, it's a 1977 penny.
Really?
It kind of blew my mind, and I went and to the stage and introduced myself to the woman and gave her the money, and she flipped out.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. The one that you got to watch though is it's at the bio website. It's of Steve Bowler, who's one of our he's a very, very talented videographer. We just simply call them shooters. And he's one of the people that we send out to do this point of view B-roll that I referenced earlier. And he was doing some B-roll at a location in Orange County, which is just south of Los Angeles. And he was pushed and shoved, and he just had a real experience.
Wow.
And then he started He was videotaping and picking up all these weird images and mists and like crazy stuff. So when I found out about it, I said, well, you know what, maybe we should do this as a story on the show. And then when I discussed it with the network, they thought, although it's interesting, it's breaking the fourth wall, and it doesn't really fit the formula of my ghost story. So what we did is we produced it as a 3.5-minute story for the web, and you can see it at the bio channel website.
Well,
but a number of our camera people have had strange experiences at the location of some of these stories. Most of them don't want to come forward and go on camera and talk about it.
Well, they think somebody make fun of them or something, or?
Well, I found while doing the show, we found a number of stories where people just don't want to discuss it.
Wow.
Does it create?
It's interesting. Last week I was at the studio, and I walk in, and there, sitting on stage, is a woman in a police officer's uniform telling a story. And the evidence is amazing. It's on a security camera. And not only is she a police officer, she's the chief of police. So, I mean, we've been after the story for a long time, but it took a long time for her to come forward and say, yeah, okay, I'll do this. And her husband's a policeman too.
And I would assume that they probably get to see quite a bit of stuff from the things that they do and places that they have to go.
Yeah, well, that's kind of... I've instructed my staff to try to look for that kind of stuff. Where there are where there is strange paranormal activity in and around crime scenes, because it's fascinating. That's really fascinating stuff. Because a lot of the stories that we do on the show, they have a historical element to them. I mean, we were talking earlier about the Queen Mary. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but one man died every 3 minutes or something aboard that boat.
How many times can one man die like that? Oh, wait, I just...
Huh? One man died every 3 minutes, anyway.
I've been on the Queen Mary, Mark, and I've had experiences. I got my only EVP to date on the Queen Mary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but my experiences happened when we didn't have any recorders on in our cabin.
Right.
My friend Rob and I had a ghost dog bark in my face, and we had some sort of a body or something crash from the hallway that shouldn't have been there. I threw the door right open the minute body hit the door and went down to the floor on the outside deck of the corridor, and empty corridor.
Yeah, well, as I was explaining earlier, it's a haunted place. We've done several stories on the Queen Mary with some remarkable evidence. So, Jeffrey, if you ever get anything more than just an EVP there, let's put you on the show.
Believe me, I've been trying. I've been trying to get more.
Yeah.
It's really difficult. It's one thing to get an EVP, but getting actual photographic evidence, it's really difficult. I've taken hundreds of photos on the USS Hornet. I haven't gotten so much as an orb there, but a good Class A EVP, it's just difficult to get photographs.
Yeah.
How many EVPs?
Oh, just one. One really very clear Class A EVP.
Where's the USS Hornet?
That's in Alameda, California.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, what you need to do is you need to go to the USS Salem in Quincy, Mass. That's one haunted place.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
USS Salem. I think Leanne and Angela did their show from there, or they've been there and spent the night, something like that. So.
Yeah. I think we've done 2 stories from there. It's quite an amazing place.
Well, I tell you, since our time's just kind of like run right on by, that I think we should go ahead and take a nice little break here and let people go to the potty or whatever, or get something to drink. And Jeff, you want to do the first or second?
I can do the first. Is ParaX still kind of having issues?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah.
So this will be sort of like recorded for later. Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, well, again, everyone, I'm sorry for being late, but at least in time to say you're listening to the Paranormal View on para-x.com mostly. And we'll be right back with our guest, Mark Phillips, after this musical intro.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Paranormal View right here on the Para-X Radio Network. And want to welcome back Mark Phillips, executive producer of My Ghost Story. Welcome back, Mark.
Thanks. Did the same guy who did your open
do that? No.
Do that?
No.
Because that's hilarious.
There used to be a guy here on that was affiliated with Dave on Parax, and Dave's the owner of Parax. And he did a whole lot of those type of commercials for us, which he did an excellent job on those also.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Yeah.
funny. I was laughing my guts out. Well, the thing is, I like that radio campaign. Whenever that radio campaign comes on, I listen to it. Yeah. That and the Dos Equis most, the most interesting man in the world.
Right.
That is a brilliant campaign.
It is. They did a great job on that. One question I wanted to ask you here is exactly what does an executive producer do?
I run the joint.
Is that what all executive producers do?
Yeah, they refer to us as showrunners. I'm the guy that the network looks to deliver the show and to deliver it on time and under budget. But it has to be under budget because they give me X amount of money, I give them X amount of tape, and if I can't do it for the money, then it comes out of my own pocket.
Well, so the producer does all that. What does the director do then?
In reality television, nothing.
Regular reality TV doesn't have a director, huh?
Not really. Very rarely. Very rarely. Television is a producer's medium. Film is a director's medium. In motion pictures, the director is the guy. In television, the executive producer is the guy. He's the one who generally comes up with the show. Most executive producers in television, and this is not a hard rule, but it's a general rule. Most executive producers in television are writers, as I am. I mean, I'm at the very heart of it, I'm a writer. And because at the very heart of it, what you're doing is you're getting people to say stuff, and you're cutting it all together and you're using other people's words to write it. So that's kind of where it's at.
So you would work very closely with the editor and such like that.
Yeah, in reality and alternative television, a good editor is worth his weight in gold. We have some of the best editors in town who work on this show. That being said, this is kind of an interesting arena because, I mean, there are great editors out there who literally cannot edit this show to save their lives because you have to have a certain temperament to be able to wrap your head around the material and around the stuff that people are saying. Not everybody can do it. We've brought editors in who would just go, oh wow, look at this guy cut Seinfeld, for crying out loud. that they can't. They may have cut Seinfeld, but they can't cut my ghost story.
Wow. Well, now I was on the Bio channel and I was reading some stuff there. Some of the stuff that I think you had done or you had up there. What was the Bio channel's special, Holiday Hauntings?
Oh, that's Holiday Hauntings was over the course of the show, we've had a number of stories that took place at Christmas time. And I convinced the network that we take these stories and we piece them together and we do a Christmas special, which we did. I did pretty good as well. We're probably going to do some more because we have a bunch of really great love stories. So we're probably going to do a Valentine's Day special. And then we have a lot of stories that have kind of a real historical significance to them. So we'll probably do some kind of historical hauntings show that could run on July 4th or something like that. I've always wanted to do a Labor Day special where we take, because there are some great stories where the root of the story is of people who have been working and they come, like somebody who dies in an elevator and their spirit lingers there, that kind of stuff for Labor Day. But people think it's a tad sick, but
I wouldn't.
So
another one is to do holy hauntings, where we take, because we have a lot of stories that take place either in churches or in church graveyards, that kind of thing. So that's another. They're just ways in which we can put together existing stories as what we refer to in television as a stunt, just to bring some interesting promotion and publicity to the show.
Yeah, well, that's the only way you can do it is be able to promote it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But those type of things makes it interesting to where it makes somebody want to come and watch it.
Yeah, that's the very reason I'm on the air with you, because aside from the fact that you're a great guy.
Oh, well, thank you.
My ghost story is a hard show to promote. Celebrity ghost stories is an easy show to promote.
Because you got the celebrities telling
You
their
got
stories.
celebrities.
Yeah.
Although Sammy Hagar seems to be in every episode that they do.
Well, now, are you affiliated any with the celebrity ghost stories?
No, they're just our companion piece. They're the companion show to ours. It's a nicely done show. Yeah. I always say nice things about them.
Oh, sure. And
the advantage that they have is they can promote it because of the fact that there are celebrities on.
Right.
And celebrities, and Jeffrey, I'm sure you understand this, by virtue of their profession, they're good storytellers.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey does a good job at that, too. Yes.
Well, getting to that comment that you're a writer, have you come across a story that someone's told you that you think, I couldn't even write this. I couldn't even think of it.
All the time. give you a great example. One of my favorite stories. It takes place in late 2001, early 2002. There's a New York City cop who's assigned to Staten Island. And after 9/11, the debris from the World Trade Center was shipped to Staten Island. And this particular cop and some of his associates, they were assigned to comb through the debris looking for body parts. And stuff started to follow him home. And he would go home and he would see crucifixes on the wall in his kitchen. He took pictures of them. And his clock would stop at, I'm trying to remember the time, I think it's 8:43, the time that the first airplane hit. I believe it's 8:43. It might be 8:52 or 8:48.
It was 8:43. Yeah.
8:43. There you go. Man, my memory's better than I. And he's a real gruff New York cop, and it changed his life. And he ended up having a heart attack and left the force. And he wrote a book called Running with the Bulls, which your audience members might want to look up. And it documents what he went through during this time period. He's a great guy. He brought me a copy of the book, autographed it for me. You can't write something like that.
No.
To answer your question, Barbara.
Yeah. Has anything ever followed you home?
No, not that I know of. As a single guy, I wish somebody would follow me home.
Uh-oh.
Need to go to more haunted bars, I guess. Yeah.
I will tell you a quick story, though. My father passed away when I was a young man, and I was born in England and grew up in Canada, in Toronto, Canada. And my father was a tailor by trade. He was a woman's tailor, a very talented tailor. And once we immigrated to Canada, he couldn't get hired because everything was mechanized. So he became a drapery tailor, making drapes. Which, if you're a woman's tailor, where you cut patterns for suits, you can make drapes in your sleep. So he would always make our drapes in the house that I grew up in. And a couple of years after my dad died, the drapes in my mother's bedroom my father had made, and they were literally wall-to-wall, ceiling-to-floor drapes, even though they really hit a window that was 3 feet high by 3 feet wide. And my mother was laying awake one night, and she told me this story, that my father walked out from behind these drapes and walked around in front of the bed, knelt beside the bed, and put his head in her lap, and then poof, disappeared. I'm telling this story because this is my mother's story, and my mother is the most logical, straightforward, kind of cold and calculated person you will ever meet in your life. And she will not watch my ghost story, and it's very popular in Canada. She won't watch it because, and this is the quote, it scares the crap out of me. Though crap, she didn't use that word. She used another word.
Well, now, are you from Canada or are you from England?
I'm from England, but I grew up in Canada.
Ah. Well, Canada's a nice place. I've been to Winnipeg before.
Well, I don't want to disparage Winnipeg, but you want to see Canada.
Here we go.
No. You want to see Canada, go to Vancouver. Vancouver is one of the greatest cities in the world.
And that's out on
and also Toronto. Toronto's a fabulous city.
Well, Vancouver's on the west coast, right?
Yes. That's correct.
Yeah, I've never made it out any further than North Dakota.
Yeah.
I'd like to make it out through that way sometime, but
No, you should go to Vancouver. Vancouver is it's even more beautiful than San Francisco, which I think is one of America's most beautiful cities.
Wow.
Hey, now, wait a minute.
I think I might have told you guys off air. My daughter is going to the Art Institute of San Francisco starting in August.
Oh, yes.
Very, very proud of her.
Well, that's great.
In fact, I can just hear her coming through the door right now. She's coming to my office.
Uh-oh. Well, you can have her say hi if you like.
Oh, that's okay. And she has homework to do.
Oh, okay.
I'm on air talking about you on the radio.
Now, I know Barbara's got a ton of questions, and Jeff, I suppose you probably have some also, don't you?
No, off the top of my head, because I don't know what you've also discussed prior to my getting here.
We didn't get to talk about a whole lot before you got here.
Oh, okay.
But
Barbara, go for it.
Well, okay. I wanted.
Whoop.
Barbara left. Hold on.
She fell out?
I don't know. Sometimes. No, there she is.
Am I still here?
Yeah. Skype.
Yep.
Skype does weird things sometimes.
Yeah. The worst case that you've heard of, that you've aired, or you won't air.
The worst case.
Is it demonic? Do you do demonic cases?
Oh, all the time.
Okay.
There are a number of demonic cases that we've done that just scare the daylights out of you. Especially those with scratchings, that kind of stuff. It's really bizarre stuff. We've done a number of those. I got to tell you something. If something is so scary that we wouldn't air it, that's never an issue. The only issue,
scarier the better.
The scarier. Well, yeah. But I think I might have alluded to this earlier. We try to have a variety of different stories on the show. We have some that are spiritual, some that are love stories, some that have a great historical, contextual element to them. Stories that are scary and demonic. Did I say love stories? Stories with animals. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff that we do. The stories that don't make it to air are stories that we think people are trying to pull the
wool over your eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. And generally speaking, you see it coming at you. It's somebody who wants to promote this haunted place that they own.
So they can get people to come in to investigate. Because
they want people to come in and people to go there. It's all about using our show for some kind of self-promotion, which,
right.
I will never allow to happen. And I have an extremely smart and experienced staff who, they see it coming.
Well, that's the question. Do you do any background fact checking? Do you have your own set of paranormal people that you contact and say, is this possible? Do you believe this? Do you analyze the stuff brought to you?
Yeah, we do. We analyze it to a point because the hallmark of our show, and I think what makes it work, is we allow people to tell their experiences, and we don't get in the way of that. If they believe it, and if it seems believable, and if the evidence appears to be
real,
if it appears to be logical, then, and if they're good storytellers, then we'll do the story.
Well, now, have you come across a lot of people with good stories that they don't have any video evidence with?
Well, it happens all the time. People contact us and we had this great story, but as I said before, what makes my ghost story work is that
it's got a visual evidence.
It has that visual evidence element to it. That's what makes our program work. Now, a number of times I've had our exec at A&E say, I don't really see that. And we always say, Yeah, but they do. They see something in that connects them to their grandfather or their father or their ex-wife or whatever it might be.
Well, that's the other thing is a lot of times when I've seen the show, a lot of the footage that airs seems to be very, I mean, it's usually handheld, but it's really badly handheld. So it looks like they're trying to do Blair Witch cubed or something. And a lot of times I'm like, what are they seeing that I'm not?
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're always dealing with, is because a lot of these are just regular folk. They're not they're not shooting. In fact, half the time when they're shooting this stuff, they're scared out of their minds and it's moving all over the place. And we do our best to show and edit the footage in its best light, but there's a point where we can't change it.
Yeah, you don't want it to look doctored or anything.
Right.
Exactly. Or if we did that, we would lose all credibility.
Right.
All credibility, and we have great credibility out there. So I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with that word, credibility.
It's still early out there, though. What is it? 6 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
6:08 to be exact.
Yeah.
But I know that when I go to do an investigation, I don't get to do a lot, but when I do get to go, usually about the only thing I have is my recorder, and I get EVPs. I don't have a video camera that I'm usually trying to video stuff. So most of the stuff that I ever catch is what you would call personal experiences. The EVPs, yeah, that's, you got audio, but then anything else that happens with me, anything I might see, anything that might touch me, is all just considered a personal experience. So I imagine...
Yeah, well, I think some of our best evidence is stuff that's supplied by investigators, because they tend to be experienced at, capturing this kind of stuff.
Right.
And of course, the best evidence is security cameras. That's just amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing stuff.
You can always tell when... I was going to say, you can always tell when Henry's experiences are real, because you can start hearing him scream.
Nah, you ain't never heard that.
Not yet. You haven't played one yet, but...
I know that you'd mentioned to me that you are now looking for stories over in England and all parts over there. I guess Australia, New Zealand.
Other.
Yeah, let me tell you what's going on. Firstly, the episodes of My Ghost Story that we produce here in Los Angeles, they are seen all over the world. All over Europe, England, in the Middle East, Southeast Asia, Latin America. I mean, the show is literally taken off all over the world. There are also episodes of My Ghost Story that are being produced in Southeast Asia, out of Singapore. And there are also episodes of My Ghost Story that are being produced in Latin America, out of Buenos Aires. So it really, A&E's very pleased with it in that it's worked well internationally. What I've convinced them to do as of recent is to allow me to produce stories that are international in nature and put them in My Ghost Story. So we've already done 2 from England, I think 3 from Canada. We have one coming up from Australia, another one from Ireland. And it's really my way of trying to find another way to make the show a bit different,
right?
So it can be promoted. So if indeed any of your listeners are overseas and want to submit a story, all they got to do is go to My Ghost Story at mppt.tv, send us an email, or go to the bio website. There's a link at the bio website to send us a story, and we'd love to do it.
Now, I do know that most of the time we do have listeners in UK, Switzerland, I think. Sometimes we get one from Spain, from Finland. We get them all around, kind of. So, Australia, we have listeners from everywhere. So,
we just found a great story in Australia. It takes place in a bakery.
In a bakery. That'd be a good place for one to take
there's all these flying cupcakes.
Wow.
On security cameras.
And they have it on camera.
Crazy.
Oh, wow.
Was this during the day or like after dark or after closing?
After dark. After dark, middle of the night.
Wow. Which they probably wouldn't have been actually anybody in there.
Exactly.
Wow. You know, that's pretty interesting.
But you can imagine that they come in the morning and there are all these cupcakes like all over the place. Like, how'd this happen? And they look at the security footage and it's like they're flying off by themselves. That's a good story.
Well, I'm going to be
back to Barbara.
Yes.
I couldn't write this stuff.
Well, flying cupcakes would be a stretch, yes, in anybody's imagination.
I mean, have you ever thought of the notion of flying cupcakes in your life? No, I haven't.
I have to tell you this story because I visit several different paranormal websites, and there was a woman on who claimed that she had cupcakes in the house and they were possessed. They kept moving. So maybe she was right.
Wow. If you know what? If she has video evidence of that, tell her to get a hold of us. That's a great story. Maybe we can do like a special cupcake episode. Haunted cupcakes.
Now, I know...
cupcakes from hell.
I'm going to be getting a couple of cameras before long, so there's this one place I've been invited to go investigate, and from what I understand, they've been seeing quite a bit of stuff in that place. Every now and then they see this old woman at the kitchen sink doing dishes. They hear people talking. They hear footsteps, all kinds of stuff. So maybe I'll be able to catch something like that. So I'm working on it.
Hey, if you do, give us a call.
I'll do that, definitely.
We'll fly out. We can meet.
That sounds great. I'll get to
Which
meet
would be
Jeff.
great because then he gets to meet me.
Yeah, I haven't never got to meet Jeff or Barbara yet. So.
Oh, wow. You guys just know each other from over the radio.
Yep.
Sure
have. Met all of them on Para-X, and the person that originally was my co-host, she was doing so many different things. She had to step down because it was just taking up too much of her time. And when that happened, then I started looking for other co-hosts, and I come up with Jeff and Barbara. She fills in as co-host with us because one of the other co-hosts travels to different conventions and can't be here. So we keep it covered pretty good. And we're just a laid-back show, like to have fun and chit-chat with our guests. So everybody really likes the program, and I'm not doing a thing to change it. So
there you go.
One thing that's a shame, Mark, is I've been to several haunted theaters here in Los Angeles. The Downtown Theater, which just premiered The Raven last night, went by on the bus. I'm like, oh, they premiered it there. But I shot a commercial in there, and I had a ghostly experience down in one of the men's bathrooms. I spoke with the secretary of the Historical Society, and she listed a whole slew of experiences. One of it included the one I had. Plus, the Matrix Theater on Melrose has got at least one or two shadow people walking around. My friend
I know that theater. Do you know if there are any if there's any evidence that's been recorded there?
I don't know, but like I say, it's been anecdotal. My friend Pamela Salem, who's back on the East Coast now, she was doing a rehearsal of a thriller, and a shadow person walked right between she and her co-star who were facing each other on stage, just like just walked right between them, in front of both their faces. They're like, what? And they had a prop tube in the set that was so that one of the actresses would fall through. And while they were there by themselves, they just heard this knocking, pum, 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 coming from inside. And they're like, please be the stage manager, just trying to freak us out. And there was nothing in there doing it.
Wow. Well, I'm writing this down as you say so, because I'm going to have one of my researchers look into the Matrix Theater.
All right. There you go.
Well, no, I know that theater very well.
I tell you, well, we actually got started a little bit late, so we can run a little longer before we take our other break.
Whatever you want to do, I'm yours.
Oh, that's fine. We're doing good. I know in the past month or so, you've been on a media. Let's try it again. You've been on a media blitz from being on shows such as the Paranormal View. Have you gotten a lot of response from those with people wanting to do stories on your show?
Yes. There's been a noticeable uptick in response to me, sort of putting the word out. And I think I might have mentioned earlier this. I've been doing this because it's a wonderful show that gets wonderful ratings, but it's a hard show to promote because there's no host, there's no celebrities. I mean, I've been on shows and people call in and say, "Oh wow, I had no idea this existed." And,
well, I tell you what,
that's great.
If you want to make a short 30-second commercial or something like that, do that, send it to me, and we'll air it over our shows. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
Now, are you on Facebook yourself, or I know the show is?
The show is. I'm not on Facebook myself.
Okay, there is a Wikipedia reference to you on Facebook as well, so.
There might be.
Oh,
I know
there is.
my bio was on Wikipedia, and then for some reason it got removed. And I've been having one of my staff try to get it reinstated, but I think somebody tried to. I think somebody hacked it. I don't know.
Now, when the people that are responding to you, what kind of demographic is it? Does it go from everybody?
Great question. Let me tell. I'm going to tell you exactly what the demo is for A&E Bio. And personally, I would like to broaden it. But 65% of the people who watch my ghost story are women. Mm-hmm. And their average age is 45. Which, by the way, is exactly what Bio is looking for. Bio is a slightly female skewing network that covets women who are 30, 40, and 50. So we're sort of hitting it over the head. And I would assume that most of or a lot of the men who are watching are probably with a woman and watching the show hoping to get laid. By the way, I just said that for effect. I don't really believe that. I was hoping to make you guys laugh.
Well, you did.
That's okay. When you were saying, they were looking for a specific age group and all this, I'm thinking they should really just check eHarmony.
There you go. All right. I tell you what, with that, I think what we'll do is we're going to take us another break. And I didn't think to tell you the first time, but
I noticed.
when we're on break, our mics are live. I don't have sophisticated equipment to be able to mute everything.
Oh, then I'll keep my mouth shut.
So, excuse me, but I guess, Barbara, I guess it's your turn then if Jeff already did his.
Okay. You're listening to the Paranormal View on Para-X Radio. Stay tuned after this break with some flash from the 60s and 70s hits from Henry Foister.
Whether you're listening at home, at work, or anywhere, thanks for making Para-X part of your day. Your source for everything paranormal, Para-X.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Paranormal View right here on the Para-X Radio Network. Want to thank everybody for listening tonight, and for those also from around the world, no matter where you're at. And if you're not listening here at Para-X, come on over, para-x.com. Join the chat, and you'll be in with all these wonderful people. And you'll also be able to interact and chit-chat with us and our guest. And want to welcome back our guest, Mark Phillips, executive producer of My Ghost Story. Welcome back, Mark.
Great to be here.
I know my throat tends to be getting even worse as we talk, but nevertheless, do you find that I know there's, I guess when the Ghost Hunters first hit the airways, it really opened the floodgates for all the paranormal venues that come along with it. Is some of those type of shows dwindling, whereas shows like yours, which is actually having the people tell their stories, doing better than the others?
I don't know. I mean, I know Ghost Hunters intimately because I was the co-executive producer of the first 2 hours of the show. I helped invent it. And just so your audience knows, I was actually fired.
Uh-oh.
I was fired.
Uh-oh.
They said, this footage is dark. I said, of course it's dark.
It's night.
It's night.
Yeah.
You mean because it was too? It was like the green camera lights, that kind of thing.
No, because it is. The show for its history has been dark.
Yeah.
It's just a very difficult company to work for. It's the last work for hire show I ever did. I only produce programming now that my company produces, where I don't have some political entity between me and the network.
Right.
But moving on. I don't know. I think that
well, take into account
Celebrity Ghost Story starts out with a graphic that says 70% of Americans believe that there is something else out there.
True.
And I think they really hit upon something in doing that. I think that paranormal shows will be a genre of television that will be around for a long, long time.
Well, that's
individual shows will come and go, but I think the genre will always be out there because it's like flipping houses. It's like makeovers. There are a lot of people who love this subject matter and are interested in the storytelling.
right.
Now, whether my show will ever eclipse Ghost Hunters, I don't think so. First of all, Ghost Hunters is on Sci-Fi, which is a far bigger network than A&E Bio.
Or as I figure the way they spell it now, Siffy.
Yeah.
No, Fifi. Exactly,
Yeah.
Fifi. I know, what a bizarre branding move. But whatever. They, they're all kinds of networks that are interested in this kind of material. In fact, we were actually approached by Discovery to come up with something for them.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
but I do so with great trepidation. I want to make sure that I don't in any way step on the toes of my ghost story, because
right.
my ghost story is so very unique that doing a show for another network doesn't appeal to me as much as making sure that my ghost story is an ongoing enterprise for A&E Bio. It should be noted, though, that that my ghost story has also gravitated to A&E proper. Both my ghost story and Celebrity Ghost Story are seen on A&E as well as A&E Bio, and that's a very new thing because.
Well, that's great, though.
Yeah, Bio became kind of originally it was the dumping ground for. Oh God, that's an awful thing to say. The
testing
not the
site?
dumping ground, but the secondary broadcast of A&E material. For instance, Friday nights is Dog the Bounty Hunter. I mean, if you like Dog the Bounty Hunter, watch A&E Bio on Friday nights.
Yeah.
They do 5 episodes in a row.
Well, the paranormal, of course, is a lot more than. Am I here?
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. The paranormal is a lot more than just ghosts.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And the one thing that I will tell you right now is that there is a show that I'm developing, and if there's anybody out there who would like to contact us about this, because I'm actively shooting it right now, and it's a project that I call Our Past Lives. And basically, it is, if you think of my ghost story, it's that show, but it's people who believe that they have been reincarnated, and they come in and tell us about their past life.
Yeah, that'd be pretty.
Without giving away too much of the format, that's kind of it.
Just did.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's much more to it than that. It's a very intriguing. In fact, yesterday we shot 2 storytellers, and as soon as I saw it coming down, I thought, I got it. This is it. This is going to work.
Now, are you able
to you, Barbara, I say that's not really. Is that paranormal? I don't know, but it's it's the same church, different pew.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it is. That's paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you believe in nonlinear time, you could say it's physics, but I would say at the moment it's deemed paranormal. And do you have a way of verifying past lives? Are you actually doing the research back into that? Oh.
Yes. Yes, and yes. In the same way that we prove out the storyteller's story on My Ghost Story, we will validate the storyteller's past life on our past lives. I love this. I love this idea. I think it's a wonderful. And you know what? There are amazing. There are amazing celebrities who, or not just celebrities, but famous people who are convinced that there was somebody else in their past life. Stephen King. Stephen King firmly believes that he was Jonathan Swift. I personally believe that Jonathan Swift was a better writer than Stephen King, but that's just me.
Huh.
General George Patton was convinced that he was Hannibal.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very
Nobody
true.
ever thinks that they were just a servant or a serf.
Well, I don't know.
Me personally, I think that I was like a squirrel in a past life.
A squirrel. I don't know if I actually believe in reincarnation like that, but if there is such a thing, then I've got to feel that somewhere along the way I was a cowboy or something like that, because I've always loved cowboy movies. So maybe I was.
You also sound like a cowboy.
I'd love to be able to play a cowboy, but that'll never happen either. So, but yeah. Okay, Barbara.
Do you think the television seems to have changed in that standpoint of the successful stories seem to be about normal people telling normal or out of the ordinary stories?
Isn't that great?
Yeah. It's a great platform now for people who want to be heard and want to be believed.
I think it's fabulous. I think it's great.
Yeah, I
I mean, no offense, but how sick are all of us about what Hollywood represents? I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jeffrey, I'm sure that you're not happy about me saying that, but let's face it, you know,
Well, yeah.
Hollywood has become the essence of hypocrisy.
Because the way things are going, I'm just trying to get work. That's why I do so many student films, because I actually get to act.
There you go.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm an actor. I'm a lifelong stage-trained actor, but most of the work I do, I do a lot of principal work in commercials, and I have a Super Bowl commercial and everything, but most of the time I'm lucky when I get a day or three a month background work.
Right. But you know darn well that the most fulfilling work that you do is on the stage, because that's where the most fulfilling writing is.
Pretty much, yeah. But I have become, very much attuned to film. I mean, I grew up doing a lot of, making my own little movies, and I wrote a couple of shorts that we made, and they really need to be remade for several reasons. But yeah, I just like being in front of the camera and doing what I can to see the director and the producer's vision made into what they want.
Yeah, I think with the paranormal that for so many years it was something that wasn't talked about. If somebody said they'd seen a ghost or something, everybody thought they was nuts, because most people didn't want to believe in anything like that. And now, though, that it's out in the open, all of a sudden everybody's saying, oh, it's okay now if I tell my story or something like that. So I think
I don't know if it was one of our guests or I was listening to another ParaX show, but they said in England, almost everybody's like, oh, yeah, we have a ghost.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's huge in England.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Everybody believes.
And I think and there's a real historical context to it in England as well, because
Sure.
It's
culturally accepted.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, like I said, there's more to the paranormal. Have you thought about branching into the cryptozoology or UFOlogy?
Well, I tried to pitch a couple of years ago my UFO story, and it went nowhere. Firstly, because there's very little
documentation,
UFO evidence out there. There just is not a lot of that stuff out there.
And
it's very interesting. This is very interesting that you'll find that paranormal, ghost, that kind of material appeals a little bit more to women. Mm-hmm. UFO, aliens, that kind of stuff appeals a little bit more to men. The demographers will tell you that.
Yeah, sure.
Which I find interesting. I mean, I'd love to do something with on UFOs, but I haven't really been able to tackle it yet. The only way I did tackle it, I tackled it on my show Lie Detector. There are two different stories that I did on Lie Detector. One was of a scientist who worked for the Pentagon who claimed that he had seen documents that proved that that alien creatures did exist and that they had been captured by our military. And we put him on the lie detector, a world-class polygraph test, and he passed. He passed with flying colors. And the other one was a woman who does a show out of Winnipeg, actually. I believe it's, if I remember correctly, the show was out of Winnipeg, who claimed that when she lived in California, her car broke down and an alien spaceship came down and fixed her car and helped her on her way. And she took a polygraph on lie detector and flunked with flying colors and begged me not to air it because it would ruin the radio show that she does out of Winnipeg. And I said, I don't care.
Yeah.
That'll teach you.
Yeah.
When you start saying that UFOs have a AAA on the side, you know.
Thou shalt
Exactly.
not lie. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I think reincarnation kind of goes both sides of the spectrum, men
I
and
agree with
women.
Certainly, Barbara, from your lips to God's ears.
Well, I had a friend.
Well, I certainly.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say I have a friend back east who has since moved to Arizona, who had done past life research on himself, and turned out that he was a thief that had stowed away on the Titanic and went down on it. And it's somehow, I don't know, he was able to figure out who he was or something, but it was difficult to do because he was traveling under false name and stuff like that.
Can you, Jeffrey, can you email me that story or the connection to that, or can you get me in touch with him?
I haven't been able to be in touch with him in a long time. He has a VHS tape of mine. He still owes me. Well,
I'll get it back for you.
There you go.
Because that's a great story.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can track him down. I've been sort of looking for him, but his name is Ray Masterson, and that's kind of a more of a common name than you'd think.
That's a wonderful story. Yeah. There's all kinds of this stuff out there. I'm telling you, that's my next show. I'm telling you.
Uh-oh. All right. I tell you. Maybe someday I'll get something caught on tape. And then maybe be able to send you something.
So I'm trying to think. Like I say, I saw your Wikipedia listing on Facebook. You say you don't have a profile on Facebook. Does My Ghost Story have a page on Facebook?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll dig up that.
Yeah, it does.
And I found you on LinkedIn. And I sent you an ad, by the way.
And if people go to Facebook, they can connect with us and send us their story suggestions and so forth and so on.
Now, what kind of people generally approach you?
You mean to be storytellers?
Yeah.
Oh, all kinds of people. All the way from... that's such a broad question. It's hard to answer because... I love it when somebody approaches us and I'll give you an example. I had drinks with a good buddy and a bandmate of mine who is a lawyer, and he brought along a lawyer friend of his. This was on St. Paddy's Day in Santa Monica in California. And this guy is his friend is a merger and acquisitions professor at USC. He's written 6 books. He's a monster brain. Really, really smart guy. And he watches My Ghost Story every Saturday because he had this experience of many, many years ago. I've tried to find evidence about his experience because it's such a great story, but I haven't been able to find any evidence. You take that, it's all the way down to And I don't want to disparage janitors, because the janitor of my office is one of my favorite people in the world. But, people with grade 6, 7, or no education who've had these experiences. So it's all over the place. It's amazing. I mean, I told you about the police officers earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just never know where this stuff is going to come from. My mother, I told you the story earlier of my mother. I would never have thought my mother would have had this kind of experience.
Now, did you know that story before you started the show?
No, I had no idea. And the only reason she told me is because I said, "Why don't you watch my show?" And then she told me this story. Oh, okay, now I understand.
Mm-hmm. But you never saw that experience yourself as a child? Yeah.
No.
So have you ever been on an investigation?
Yes. Of course. I was the co-EP of the first 2 hours of my Ghost Hunters. I've been on that investigation, but I've been on my own investigations. I think before you joined the show tonight, Jeffrey, I told your co-host and the audience about a Queen Mary investigation I went on with Peter James, who was a very famous.
Oh yeah, I know about. I have his autobiography. I'm friends with his friend John.
Yeah, he's quite. He was an amazing guy, amazing guy. And he's the one who really got me interested in this arena so many years ago. It was back in 1992. Might have been earlier. Might have been 1991, 1992, something like that. Amazing guy.
That's great. Has anything ever appeared on the set while you were filming as your interviews?
No, I don't think so. There are some people on our crew who think that there has, but for the most part, I would just say no, not really.
Well, now, how about when the crews go back to do the shots of the location?
That happens all the time.
And they do catch evidence that way?
They do.
Really?
And sometimes we include it in the show itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how about follow-up? Have you done any shows where you go back to some of your previous interviewees and see if the events are still happening?
Well, one of the things that we do with the show is that, generally speaking, by the time we finish an episode, it's about 4 to 5, maybe 6 months after we shoot the initial story on the set. And we always call the storytellers, and they will give us an update on what has happened at that particular place. And we put words on screen at the end of every story. Mm-hmm. If you watch the show, we call it the closure. And we generally address what you asked, Barbara, at that point. Now, have we ever gone back to find if there's an additional evidence years later? No.
Yeah.
But you know what? Thanks for the idea. That's not bad. Maybe we should.
I often wonder whether the attention given by a film crew would enhance or cause an increase in paranormal activity down the road if they think that they're being...
No, I'm thinking that maybe we should go back to some of our early stories and see what's happened since, and whether there may not be a...
maybe you could do updates or follow-ups.
Yeah, like an update follow-up episode. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Barbara, I owe you a royalty.
Uh-oh. And you heard it first here on the Paranormal View.
You did.
Right, Barbara Duncan.
That's a really good idea, Barbara.
I have my moments, a few, but I have them.
Ceiling tablets down on us all.
Yes.
Well, you still got another page and a half of questions, don't you?
Of course I do.
Well, fire away.
I'm wondering about some of the more tricky cases, like the demonic ones, where you're sending your crews into potential scene scenarios where they might be injured. Have any of them gotten injured, scared to the point where they had to quit, to the point where they have to call in an exorcist? How bad does it get?
No injuries yet. Most of my people are really strong, really centered, and we haven't had that problem yet. I hope I don't have to, and I don't want to sound callous. I really don't. But if indeed something does happen, I'm insured. And I do not mean to be callous.
I understand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, has your crew had a change of heart? Do they go in with the attitude of, oh, I don't believe any of this, and come out whimpering? You know, it's like, oh my God, I just had the experience.
No, you know what? It's a 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Some people, it just rolls off it just rolls off them. They could see, Abraham Lincoln in front of them, and they wouldn't believe it. And others would. It's just the nature of the way they are.
Yeah, that's one thing that like in Ghost Hunters, or actually in a lot of the those type of shows, their cameraman that follows them around, they always have the camera pointing at them when something happens, so they never actually get it caught on camera. And I've always laughed at that.
That's because they're not capturing anything on camera.
That's what I figured too.
Trust me.
Well, the biggest
when
part
those shows are being made, there are 3, 4, sometimes 5 cameras there. So if you're not seeing it, nobody's seeing it.
Right.
Well, that's what drove me crazy. I used to watch. I'd occasionally watch the ghost hunting one with Zach Baggins. Ghost Adventures, I think it is. And they went to Linda Vista Hospital. Well, I've been there several times. I've never had any.
Which one?
Ghost Adventures, something like that.
I know, but where's the location?
Linda Vista Hospital in Boyle Heights.
Oh, here in L.A., yeah.
Yeah. I've been there several times.
It's a great place.
It is.
And it's the spookiest place you've ever been to, but there's no evidence. There's no evidence from that place. I know, because we tried to do it.
I did see somebody who had an experience while I was there, but I wasn't with her at the time. And another friends of mine were videotaping. We were getting nothing on our digital recorders, but the video camera was picking up EVPs. But there was, on the Ghost Adventures, there was a shot. You see one of the guys leaving frame to go through a door, and as he's going through the door, his camera held up to his face starts going down. And then he comes running out. Oh, there's a full-body apparition. I'm like, well, of course you didn't get it. You were putting your camera down, so how can I believe what you're saying?
Right.
That used to drive me crazy when that stuff happened.
Yeah. Well,
that's a great location.
Oh, it's brilliant. I love wandering around there all by myself, and I've had no problem being in the dark and any kind of place. Because when anything usually has happened to me, it's so fast and quick, and I'm busy ruling out what it might be, that by the time I get to, that had to have been this, it's too late to be bothered being scared. I was down at a girlfriend's house down in Fullerton in Orange County, and I was in the kitchen by myself at like 3 in the morning with the lights all out because I was just getting a drink, and all of a sudden in my right ear, I heard a very clear female voice say, "Hey," to the point that I just thought, oh, Sharon snuck up on me, and I turned to face her, and I kept turning until I realized I was all by myself in the empty kitchen, and she was still back in the bed on the other side of the house.
Yeah, but what were you drinking, Jeffrey?
Milk. I was getting a glass of milk. And there was enough ambient light, so it wasn't like anybody could have, I thought, wow, how did she sneak up on me? I didn't even hear her feet, and like, I'm by myself, what the heck? And eventually I realized I knew that she had a ghost that used to touch her in her sleep and wake her up. And so I told her, I said, you've been in bed the whole time, right? She said, yeah. And I said, I think your ghost just introduced herself to me pretty much.
Wow.
Well, our time is kind of slipping right on by. So, Barbara, if you've got a couple more questions that you've got down there that you want to ask real quick, we can get those in.
Well, I guess we've been talking about this and hinting at it about different camera angles and what crews do when they get in there and how they shoot. I'm interested to know if you've seen people who contact you with some really, really flagrant fakes. Now, I just watched one of your shows.
Flagrant what?
Fakery.
Oh, yeah, we've had a few. Yeah. Photoshop stuff that's just obvious. Mm-hmm. But I think we addressed this earlier. We kind of see it coming because it's always somebody who wants to promote this place that they're at, whether it's their haunted house that they're trying to generate tourists to come and see, or whether it's a club where they think that people are going to come there and watch strippers because it's haunted as well. I mean, that kind of laugh not. Laugh not.
I'll live with it.
Yeah, I imagine there's quite a few of that, but yeah. Well, I mean, there is what I love about the show is like I said, the very realistic appearance that people are making of this is what I saw, honest. And exactly. You can see it in their eyes, that they firmly believe what they see.
Exactly.
Yeah, and even the video, I was just watching one of the little girl or the little kid walking across the bed, and where you could see the covers drop down. Right. Absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
So you know that just because you can reproduce it doesn't mean it's fake.
There you go.
That's like factor faked. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hate when they do that. When they say, see, we were able to recreate the video, so it must be fake.
Must be fake, yeah.
What?
No.
What logic is that?
That's an interesting thing, though, is all these people that has these stories, they have visual or video evidence to show you with it. It's got to be at the right time, the right place, and everything happening just right in order for them to get that evidence. So it's not like something just all of a sudden happened. They just happen to have the camera there going. It's like they were doing some sort of an investigation or looking for whatever it is that had been bothering them. Yeah.
And if I can remind your audience, if you want to watch my ghost story, it's on A&E Bio Saturday nights, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, and there's usually 2, 3, 4 episodes an evening. So I hope your audience watches it and enjoys it and visits the Bio website and
or at least records it to play it back later.
Yeah.
While they're listening to our show.
Yeah, right. There you go.
And also, if they want to send you stories of reincarnation, they should use that same...
Exactly, yeah.
The same contact information, My Ghost Story.
Yeah, send us, if there's reincarnation stuff, send it to us. Yeah, we'd love to have it.
Well, since our time is just about run right on down, I want you to go ahead and give out all your information, how to contact you, which you just
did.
Sure,
you can reach us at My Ghost Story at mppt.tv. That's My Ghost Story at mppt.tv. Let me spell out the mppt.tv so everyone gets it. It's M as in Mark, P as in Phillips, P as in Phillips, T as in television, .tv. My ghost story at mppt.tv. There you go.
All right, we got that. So, I want to go ahead and thank you for being on the show tonight, for taking the time.
I want to thank you for having me. It was great. You guys are terrific.
Well, thank you. we try to be, and we don't try to hammer anybody. We just want to have a good time and laugh and carry on, and just like a family here. So,
and Jeffrey, since you're in the city that I live in but don't really want to, if you want to reach out and get a hold of me and come in and visit with us, please do so. If you get a hold of, you can get a hold of me through Henry, and you can get straight to me. So if you want to come visit us and see the operation, come to the studio, just let me know.
There you go,
cool.
Jeff.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. I do want to, again, thank everybody for being with us tonight and taking the time to listen. Next week we have Kenneth Harmon on. He is the author of Ghosts Underfoot, and should be a great show then also. From what I understand, he was a detective or policeman, and he had all these different ghost stories, so ought to be interesting. I guess what we'll do is, Jeff, you can give out all of our site information, and also let Mark know where to be able to see the show and read all the information. So,
my own website is jeffgould.net, GEOFFGOULD.net, and if you add /2011PNV.htm, that'll get you to the little hub page on my website. It'll have all the past shows, including the link to this report page. And on the report page will be different links to the Ghost Story site, to Mark's email will certainly be there a few times, actually, and recommendation for the book, Running with the what was that called? The Joseph Lanny book, Running with the Bulls: The Road to Fresh Kills, Journey into the Paranormal, which you recommended.
You should have him as a guest, by the way.
That sounds interesting.
We may have to.
And if you need his contact information, get a hold of me. He's a really terrific guy.
I was getting ready to tell you to send that to me.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And also our regular website is theparanormalview.com, and at Facebook you can just search for The Paranormal View. There we are. And I'm at Facebook. Just add Jeffrey.Gould, GEOFFREY.GOULD.
All right. Well, Mark, I want you to stay on till after we get off, and then we'll talk with you for a second.
Sure.
Again, we're fixing to jump off. We want to thank everybody again for listening, and thank Mark Phillips for taking the time to be with us. Until next week, this is Henry Foister.
Jeffrey Gould.
And this is Barbara Duncan.
Oh, really? I was wondering if you were still around.
Yeah.
All right. Till then, we'll see you next week. So good night, everybody.
We're leaving. We're gone. Paranormal View. Come back and visit us again if you dare. You've been listening to the Paranormal View on the ParaX Radio Network. The Paranormal View.